by, and I get this email. And it was from the Eastern Diocese Department of Religious Education. And it was a woman that I had met 15 years prior. Her name is Illustrator, and she's the head of the Department of Religious Education. And she was telling me about this book, and I was like, wow, that was amazing. I mean, an answer to my prayer, but I want you to know how it all came about. So 15 years earlier, when my kids were younger, we were attending St. Peter's in the Valley, and Elise and Nancy Barsamian, the two heads of the Department of Religious Education, had come to a Sunday school conference at our church. At that time, we were using their Sunday school curriculum, and I loved the artwork, and I took my samples of my drawings to these women and my portfolio, and I just wanted them to see it, and I was saying, I would love to work for you guys. I would love to have work on church-related materials. At that time, they had just revamped their whole curriculum, and they didn't have any work for me, but they took my samples, and off they went, and 15 years went by. So after this prayer, to get this call or email 1 month later, it said, I don't know if you're the same person, but I think I met you 15 years ago, and I have this idea, and your artwork is perfect. Okay, so how did it all work? She said, I had the hardest time getting a hold of you, because she said we couldn't find you. Now, in those 15 years, my name had changed, my address had changed, my phone number had changed, I didn't have any email. She had pulled out my artwork from her file that she had kept for 15 years, and she opened it and said this was great. But she couldn't get a hold of me, and she didn't know. I mean, at that time, she didn't know, did hiding include all of that, you know. It's just this woman, Anush Berg. That was my last name. So just by chance, which I don't believe in chance, I believe in divine intervention, just as it was, she had my artwork on her table. This is all the way out in New York. And a girl from California happened to be in her office. She showed her the illustrations. The girl thought the drawings were great, and so she looked at the signature, and she says, I think I'm friends with her son on Facebook. And so that girl knew my son Nadik. They contacted him, got my email, and then the rest is history. So the message with this book is always believe in the power of your prayer. And sometimes it doesn't happen right when you want it. Sometimes it takes 15 years. But but you just got to keep believing and know that God has the plan for you.
So finally, I wanted to just point out something in this book. If you open the book to the I Pray page, there's a mother holding her little sleeping child on her shoulder. And that little sleeping child is my daughter, Ani. I remember many days coming to church myself and having her fall asleep in my arms. It's really important as parents to bring our kids to church. Even if they make noise, even if they're falling asleep, if they're playing on the floor, it's important for them to grow up in our church, hearing the music, the sharagans, smelling the incense, being a part of the church family. Because when they grow up in our church, then they find friends in the church. The church becomes their family. They get married in our church, and then they start their families in our church as well. So that's it. I hope you enjoyed it. And